buon pomeriggio. Welcome to Clelia's Cucina Italiana. Today we're going to do a special recipe in honor of Valentine's Day. So all you ladies or gentlemen, you can cook for each other, whatever you like to do. And this is a very, very easy recipe that just anybody can do. And you will see what I mean when we start. Okay, let's get started because I have a few things to show you. Okay, we have two beautiful veal chops here. Okay, and usually you have one per person. Okay, so that's why I have two, one for each. Okay, so the first thing we do is we have here some Peppercorn mustard, okay, and some flour. Okay, so what we do now, look how easy this is. You just spread some mustard on one side. Maybe like it takes probably like 1 tablespoon for each side, or a little bit less, you know, depends how much you want. Okay, like that. Then you just turn it over on the flour and just do the other side. Very easy. Like that. In the meantime, I'm going to turn the fire on here. Okay. And I'm going to put a little bit of butter, like maybe 1 tablespoon, and maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay, 1 or 2 tablespoons. And it's, I mean, if you have a non-stick pan, it's probably makes things a little easier. Okay, so we have it on here when the butter melts. So this is that. Now, is that easy or what? So we just spread both sides with the mustard. We dip it in the flour and shake out excess, and then we just do the other side the same way. And you really don't need any salt or pepper because the mustard is pretty pungent. But, you know, you can always do your own thing if you really want to. Okay, so this is it. See? Okay, I think it's hard enough that we can do it. That's all there is to that. Now, how easy was that? Now we can get rid of this stuff. And then I'm going to show you what else we're going to do, what we're going to serve with it. Spinach always go nice for contrast, like a nice green. And how we're going to make the spinach is with a couple tablespoons of butter. Wait until it melts. And with that, I'm going to use a little bit of garlic. Okay, now this looks like a lot of spinach, but spinach go way down when you cook them. So it's up to you. Okay, this is like 2-3 pounds, you know, one of those big containers that they sell. This is baby spinach. Usually you use that for salad, but they're so nice and tender and ready, you know, that I thought I used those instead of going through all the trouble of doing the regular spinach, you know. And I rinse that a few times. They're clean. They said they're clean, but I still like to rinse them. Okay, so we have a couple of garlic cloves with the butter. And then, you know, you can take them out if you want, or you can leave them in, you know. Okay, I want to keep an eye and make sure that that doesn't get too golden, but at the same time, a little bit more. At the same time, I wanted to get a nice golden crust. Okay, and what goes in here, after this is done, we take it out and we put these green peppercorns. Now, these are a little hard to find, but if you go to specialty shops, you usually can find them. But if you can't possibly find them, you can use the pink, you know, the pink peppercorns, all right? And these really look nice when, you know, they give it a nice flavor to the sauce. And we're also going to serve with this some cannellini beans, which I'm going to puree, okay? I'm going to puree. I'm just not going to be that fancy with this. I'm going to put a little bit of pepper, lots of black pepper, olive oil, and a little bit of parsley to give it some color, and puree it. And that's it. And I think it will go nice because this is very tasty. It's got so much flavor, and you don't want anything else to really take away from it. So that's why I chose the spinach and this. And I think they go really, really nice together, as you will see. We're going to put the spinach, but you will see how much they reduce to. And what I did with this, I just rinsed them a couple times to make sure they were clean. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of salt just to help them wilt, okay? And I'm just gonna cover them so they wilt a little bit. And that's all. I washed them, like I said, with cold water, and then I spun dried them because you wanna make sure that all the water is out. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep the cover on until they go down a little bit, and then I'm going to take it off. Okay, this looks like it's about ready. Oh, nice. And this too. But we want to keep them on for a little bit longer, quite a bit longer, because we want to make sure that they cook through, okay? So we're just going to keep an eye on them. Not too high, like medium-low. Okay, I'm just gonna put them medium-low so they cook through and they don't get too done. This is such a delicious, delicious recipe that I can tell you. I know I always tell you that, but this is really, really good. Now, see how the spinach go down? See, I'm gonna put the rest of it. See, you thought, what is she doing for 2 people? All that spinach. Okay. Here we go. Just a little bit longer. We don't want them too done. Okay, so this is doing good. And now, what I'm going to show you is the beans, okay? Like I said, this is just a little bit of beans. I'm going to put it in the blender. Now, these are, if you're going to use cans, these are 2 cans that are like 15.5 ounces each. But if you have the time, I'll advise you to cook your own, soak them overnight and cook them with oil, cover up about 1 inch over of water. And sometimes I put in an onion and a piece of garlic and a piece of celery just to give it some flavor, okay? But since we're pressed for time, this will have to do. And these are cannellini beans. Now, you can do cannellini or you can do ceci, which is garbanzo beans. You could do that too, if you like. Let's see if this works now. This always gives me trouble. Okay, at this point, I'm gonna put some parsley. Just fix it up a little bit, because it's the one on the bottom are done and the top are still whole. Okay, I'm just gonna put a few pieces, just without the stem, if you can, but if a little stem goes in, it's okay too. Okay, and I think this gives it a nice flavor, plus it gives it a little color. And I'm gonna also put in a little bit of oil, maybe a tablespoon or so, okay? And if you do the ones in the can, just to leave a little bit of the liquid, so it will help to mash better. Done, that's good enough. Okay, the meat seems to be doing okay. So what we're going to do at this point, we're going to take it out of the pan and make a little sauce. And when you start out, I don't know if I told you, you put it on medium-high to start out because you want to have a nice little crust to start out. And then as you go along, you just turn it down to medium low because you want it to cook in the middle, okay? So at this point, we're going to add the main ingredient, which is the green peppercorns, okay? And you can add, I don't know, a couple of tablespoons maybe, all right? So we just put them in there, like that. And maybe we want to add, we can put the fire a little bit higher right now. And maybe we want to put another pat of butter or two. Okay, like that. Now, is this easy? You are going to do this for Valentine, aren't you? I hope so, because this will be really a great thing, I'll tell you. Your wife or your husband or your girlfriend, they're gonna love you even more with this recipe, I'll tell you. Okay, this is all set now, and we can add about, a half a cup of wine or so, you know, depends how much. That's about, I don't know, 3/4 of a cup maybe. Okay, so we're going to let that cook down a little bit. All right, and now we go back to the beans here. I put them on the stove to warm up a little bit, but of course, you know, if these were out of the can, I don't know if you remember, I told you, these were 2 cans of 15 ounces, 15 and a half ounces. And you drain most of the water and you put it in the blender with a little bit of olive oil and a few sprigs of green Italian parsley, okay? And then we just put them on the stove to warm it up a little bit with a little bit more oil and lots of black pepper. It was really, really good. So you do a few rounds of that, okay? And we are set. Now, is this easy or what? Especially if you get it out of the can, and you don't. But if you want to cook them, like I told you before, you soak the beans the night before, cannellini beans, and then in the morning you rinse them and you put them in a pan with about 1 inch of water above, and you add an onion, a piece of celery, I mean, you know, whatever, to give it some flavor, garlic, and cover it up. And it takes probably more than an hour to cook, all right? So if you want to do that, to prepare for this recipe, you can do that. But if you want the easy way out, you can get 2 cans, okay? All right, so at this point, I'm gonna put the meat back in, okay? Just to warm it up a little bit. I'm just gonna do this. Just for a few minutes. And if there is anything there, just leave it in. Okay, let's go back to this now. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I'm going to plate it for 1 person, okay? That was the idea, for 2 people. I'm going to do one, then you'll do the other, okay? Okay, so here's the beans, okay? I'm going to put a nice spoonful here of the beans right in the middle here. Now we got the beautiful spinach that we did with a little bit of garlic and butter, and we just added a little bit of salt to soften them up, okay? And we just cooked them with the cover on for just a couple of minutes until they went down, okay? So we put a little bit of spinach here on the side. Now you're gonna do that, so pay attention, okay? Like that. Okay, I'm gonna get one and put it like this, okay? Are you paying attention? Like that. And then we're gonna drizzle some nice sauce with the peppercorns. See? And then you can just put a little bit of that. Now, you tell me this is not a gourmet dinner fit for a Valentine's. Is this beautiful or what? And we even have a red dish to go with it. So here we are. Now we're going to be right back because I'm going to show you a nice luscious dessert to go with it. We can't have a nice meal with no dessert.